Welcome back to That Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch. Chris Stark is with me as usual, and Tom Fordyce is here on a very special occasion to mark his farewell on the pod.
Do you know what, boys? I knew I would be emotional, and then we've walked into this, frankly, disgusting pub, and we've not been here together for a ludicrously long period of time because of COVID and everything else. And I'm getting a bit of a lump in my throat already.
Really?
Yeah, I knew I would, but you know, it's starting to hit me now. Because when was the last time we were here together? It was pre-Kensington Palace. So the last time we all got together was in the presence of royalty.
I'll tell you what it feels a bit like. You know when you go on a stag do, right? And then you see each other at the wedding, and you can't really do the same thing as the stag, because the stag do was loads of fun, and weddings are never as fun as, you know,
Never.
that. But you've had some funny experiences and stuff like that, and you see them and you sort of can have an opportunity to reminisce and sort of little wink at each other, you know, keep the volume down a little bit about what's happened, that kind of thing. Feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, not at all for me.
No.
You're delighted.
No.
No, just I don't get the stag
You don't get the stag do analogy. No. Oh, that's fair enough.
But
No.
like, if I see you again, I don't want to like hide what we did together.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go back these stories and not be able to say them openly in front of people because I'm proud of them.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. There's not been any sort of weird shit that'll get you in trouble with your partners, kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
what-
been
A little bit of that, but
There's been a bit of that. I mean, I got in trouble regularly with Ab throughout the pods, really. I mean, I've been listening to ones that was on Zoom. She walked in the room and openly said, "Will you shut the fuck up?"
Don't know where we start with all of this. I mean, it's been so long since we've all had so many messages from people. Stop dicking around, get the podcast going, all of that kind of thing. And I guess we should all just explain what's happened and kind of where we're up to with everything. And Tom, what you kind of want to say about it, I guess, as well.
people probably know this from social media, but obviously you boys are on a new adventure, and I can't follow you for family reasons. I've got 2 young boys to look after, and that is absolutely the right thing for me to do. But you know, sometimes you get decisions where either way you're going to be a little bit sad. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where you boys get to on this series, what you get up to.
Some of the stuff that's going to be happening this series is you never know which way it's going to take you. That's what we always
I think
say.
that's
Very
it.
true.
How does this feel for you, Tom? Because like, you know, we start every series, we don't really have a plan, and then it always ends up being a fucking stormer.
Yeah.
Like we always end up just on some weird paths and stuff like that. Like, how's it for you? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've opened a Google Doc, which is called That Circumcision Episode. Initially, as a man who's not circumcised, and before I'd had it explained to me, I worried there might be a live circumcision planned as a farewell, which would have been
don't rule it out.
slightly different vibe. If that is happening, just flag it up to me a couple of minutes in advance. But Crouchy, I understand that you have previous in this helmet area.
I have experience in the loss of foreskin previously, yes. And yeah, I have lost my foreskin before.
Deliberately or accidentally?
It was deliberately. It was medically suggested to me that should be the case. This is very different. There was no medical implications. You know, we were just losing foreskin. But
Great analogy.
at that particular time, it was explained to me that I was. It was probably best that I shed.
And this, I mean, most people when they are circumcised, it happens at the age of, I don't know, 6 months or a year. Were you similar?
Yeah.
You were 1 or 2 years old, were you?
I would say I was a late bloomer, Tom. I was about 14.
You were 14.
Yeah. I know lots of people are out there doing stuff. Well, I'm in uncharted territory here. I prefer talking about the football, really. But
No, but it's Tom's circumcision episode. Like that's
so
the
why
thing is-
are we making it about me?
That's a very good question, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because it's still your name above the doors on this, Crouchy. I think before we kick off the new series, really, it just seemed fitting to you, Tom, that we do this circumcision episode. And we've got a few things planned. We've got a few things that we need to talk about. There's some stuff in this podcast that perhaps we haven't shared from previous experiences of doing the podcast that could be new to you. But welcome along. Yes, it is that circumcision episode.
Now it's time for one of Tom's finest moments whilst recording the pod. This bit is actually unheard audio from our podcast with Prince William. We couldn't believe what Tom had done minutes after entering Kensington Palace. Do you remember this, Tom?
I do, yeah.
You've pissed me off already, Tom, actually.
Yeah, what have I done?
So there's one toilet here.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to talk quietly. And I went downstairs and you were clearly using it for number 2. So you've spent ages doing that.
Yeah.
And I've just gone down to use it after you and it's blocked.
So, hold on.
And someone's just come in after me. So they're now thinking that I've blocked the loo at Kensington Palace. And I know it was you.
Hold on. Chris, are you saying that Tom's burst into Kensington Palace and had a dump?
The first thing he's done, he's come in and had a shit. So he's clearly thought about it.
You know why?
Clearly thought about it.
This feels
Did you really do that?
No,
Yeah. Be honest.
It felt a bit pre-match to me, Crouchy. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of adrenaline because of what this is our Wembley. There was a bit of adrenaline. I went down there thinking I needed to, and I got down there and I didn't need to. So
The audacity.
what I'm saying
that's an audacious. That's an audacious attempt.
do you know what I was going to call it? I was saying I was sitting on the throne, which
Keep
is something
voice
you
down, by
can say
the
about
way.
your own toilet, but not really in a palace where there probably is an actual
I
throne.
can't believe you even contemplated that.
I was really pissed off, if I'm honest, because I was Crouchy, because the thing is no, because it's a perception thing. Tom goes down to have a shit, right? But Tom does it because his view on everything that day was like, if I'm in Kensington Palace, I'm going to have a whiskey. If I'm in Kensington Palace, I'm going to say this to Prince William. If I'm going to be in Kensington Palace once, I'm going to have a shit in their toilet.
Yeah.
But the problem is the repercussions of that are that when the member of staff comes in after me, it looks like I've blocked the toilet. It's like, fair play, have a dump, but don't block the thing. That's for me where I felt there was a bit of palace housery from Dob. From Tom.
Well, you know, my favourite bit of that whole thing was it was an audacious attempt.
What went on in there? Because you
Was
almost seem to
audacious,
be
Tom.
suggesting that you wanted to go. Is it true that you did it because it was on your checklist of things you needed to do in Kensington Palace that day?
It was such a giddy day for all of us, wasn't it? I mean, we met in not this pub, but a pub in Kensington, and we described it at the time as being a bit like a version of the podcast Wedding, in the way that the best weddings always start in the pub, and there's always a little bit of nerves, and you have a couple of beers early doors and then feel a bit too drunk. So there was a giddiness about the whole day, and I think that just overtook me once we entered the hallowed turf of Kensington Palace. And perhaps this is the point where I reach out to Kensington Palace and say, look, the day that one of your downstairs shitters was blocked in early 2020, all this time that you've blamed Chris Stark. In fact, it was me, Tom Fordyce.
Yeah,
who
thank you.
Chris Stark was blameless. He may have blocked toilets elsewhere, Chris, I don't know. But on that specific occasion at Kensington
It wasn't
Palace,
me.
that downstairs trap was entirely and always will be my responsibility.
Yeah, and do you know what? Also, like, I don't know, we were at Prince William's private quarters there. Like, it could be realistic that it was Prince William that got the blame for that.
Yeah.
So Catherine might have come home. She wasn't in at the time.
Yeah, the repercussions.
She
of
may
that,
have.
the
She may have
butterfly
come home.
effect.
Yeah.
She may have come home and gone, Wills. Oh, for fuck's sake!
You've done it again.
You've done it again.
I've told you the next time would be the last time.
That is it. It could have been a royal breakup.
Yeah.
You know, there could potentially have been Wills.
And that's on you.
My God, you've done it again.
That's
I
on
told you, and that would have been on you.
That was on you, but I was getting the blame. And here's the thing, like, Prince William obviously, loves the podcast and has listened to it on the previous feed. We're on a new home now. I can't be sure that he has subscribed to this to
Because
hear
of the
this.
instant, yeah.
So we don't know that. And this is the thing. I would like everyone to tweet Kensington Palace if possible and just encourage them to subscribe to the new feed here that you're listening to, because I do think it should be heard that it was not me that blocked the toilet that day. It was Tom. All right, Tom. So we thought your final send off, it just made so much sense that we do a song that's meant so much for this podcast. And sadly, Ryan Shawcross is not going to sing it for you. So I went for the next best thing, which is the best singer I know. The UK's Eurovision entry this year, Sam Ryder, The Voice. Let's do this, boys. Come on, let's all chip in as well. Let's go.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days
Since you took your love away.
I go out every night and sleep all day.
Since you took your love away.
Go on, Sam.
Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing can take away these blues. 'Cause nothing compares. Nothing compares to you.
Go on, Tom.
Oh, boys, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Go on, lad.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful from one of us. Beautiful from one of us.
It was beautiful from one of